We're locked and loaded. Great to be here, everybody. Dr. Rob here. I'm looking forward to this live. Got a lot of questions that people sent in. Excited to get started and look at them. Just before we start, just let me know where you're from. I am right now in Westchester County, New York. I'm sitting here in my brand new office. We're going to have a beautiful podcast room momentarily, and I'm looking to share all new information with you. I've got a list of 7 questions. If you have any questions and you just came in, do me a favor, write them in the comment section. Got a full team here ready to go and answer all the questions. But before we get any questions, tell me where you're from. Anybody from New Jersey? Anybody from California? Anybody from overseas? What time zone are you in? Give me some feedback. Love to hear from you. All right. Well, nobody's telling me where they're from. I'm looking at the intake right now. Oh, somebody's in Florida. What part of Florida? Nice and warm. Miami Beach, Boca Raton.
Do you run organic acids on patients? If you do, what's your preferred lab?
Okay. Do I run organic acids on patients? Great question. I don't typically run organic acid tests. I will do them occasionally. So let's have some clarity. Let me sit back and relax a little bit. People always ask this test, that test. You know, in functional medicine, we can go into rabbit holes with tests. And I think it's great. I think that most of the standard medical model does not allow them to involve themselves with the type of tests that we would look at. That said, the first thing that I do is I do a comprehensive blood lab. I'm always doing comprehensive blood labs, and I'm using then KBMO Diagnostics. I'm chief clinical advisor for them, and I'm using them for food sensitivities. I am using them for gut barrier panels. I'm using them also for cardiovascular inflammatory tests. So that's what I start with, and then I scale up after that. So, and that's what I think everybody should start with.
How do you go about working with people with food sensitivities? Where do you start?
That's another great question. We're on fire. What do I do with people with food sensitivities, and where do I start? Well, I start with the test. The test comes back color coordinated. And within that color coordination, the higher the number, like a +4, +3, +2, a +4 means more inflammation. That's indicated by a higher level of raising IgG and C3d. So C3d is the most common inflammatory molecule in the body, and IgG is obviously an antibody, so it shows a dual purpose test. So the food sensitivity, the higher the food sensitivity, the longer period of time I like to remove the foods from the person's diet. So the color or a color coordinator enables me to let people know that I want to take these foods out. I typically take somebody who's sensitive to food out. I take it out for approximately 3 months as a minimum. Got another question here. Is eating buffalo meat healthy? Tuning in from Canada. Well, hello, Canada. How are you? Buffalo meat, I'm going to assume buffalo meat bison. Yeah. So I think that bison, a great bison that has not been told where to eat or restricted in any way, bison is a great choice. My wife and I eat it at home all the time. We're excited because it's a great protein source. It's like the leanest of any of the beefs, and it should be pasture raised. Tap for likes on TikTok. Come on, TikTok. Let's go. Let's pump up.
Have you come across LLT for ALS?
Yes, I actually have a protocol for LLT for ALS. I'm assuming they're from my Facebook group, my laser Facebook group. So if anybody wants, please join my laser Facebook mastermind group, Dr. Rob's Mastermind Laser Group. I do, and I will share it with you. I'll do a private video just for all you guys. Oh, somebody just said, what is LLT? Low-level laser therapy. I am a low-level laser therapy expert, or at least I like to think so. I lecture and everybody knows this, full disclosure, I lecture for Arconia lasers, and I found them to be a breakthrough in my approach and my treatment outcomes with patients. All right, so let's hit some of the questions here. Sent them in. This was great. How long should a detox program last? Wow. Real good starting point. If you've never detoxed before, I think that you should detox for 30 days. Now, when we talk about detox, we're talking about bifunctionally modulating the liver, because the liver is split in half. Bifunctionally modulating the liver, having specific nutrients to actually slow down the phase 1 of the liver and speed up phase 2 to allow you to break down toxins. Now, what kind of toxins go through the liver? Well, typically lipid or fat-soluble toxins. So the toxins are fat-soluble, they go through the liver, they need to get broken down, they need to get excreted out. That said, the first liver detox that I recommend, if you haven't done it or haven't done it in a while or you're sick, is for 30 days. I do believe in, after that, a spring and a fall cleaning for 15 days each. I think that's a really good choice. Now, would I do just the liver detox for itself? I do liver detox in conjunction also with gut protocols. So my Super 7R action plan, I got you. My Super 7R action plan is a combination of gut and liver together, because the liver and the gut are bidirectional. Whatever you do to your gut, you do to your liver. Whatever you do to your liver, you do to your gut. 75% of the toxins that actually get through your gut, or get through your leaky gut, if you will, get to the liver via the bloodstream, and 25% go via the portal vein. Did you have a question?
What's your view on protein intake and immune health?
What's my view on protein intake and immune health? So I'm a big proponent. The older we get, especially past 45, 50, we actually need to eat more protein than if we're in our 20s, because we lose our ability to have muscle protein synthesis. So we need a better quality protein. We need larger amounts. I think protein is the backbone for putting muscle mass on. Muscle mass is a longevity organ. Therefore, having better longevity, also part of that will be having a more robust, resilient immune system. So I believe that eating protein and building muscle mass, which also muscle mass enables you to dispose of glucose efficiently, is a great choice to imbue the body's ability to have a resilient and robust immune system.
Repeat the Facebook group.
I'm going to repeat the Facebook group. The Facebook group is Dr. Rob's Laser Group. Mastermind Laser Group. I should know that by now. I've only had it up for about 4 or 5 years. Could you check that for me?
Yeah, of course.
So we'll double check that. I'll give you the right name. I know. Shoot me, please. Where I sit. Help me. We're good? We can continue. Next question. Are extremely low carb diets the only way to lose weight? I don't think they're the only way to lose weight. I think they're an excellent choice to lose weight. So in the macronutrient world, the macronutrients, fat, protein, and carbs, clearly the macronutrient of choice right now would be protein. A close second would be fat. Polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fat come to the top of the cascade. More so than that, I think that the carbs, and most of the carbs that people eat, are man-made carbs. And I think you want to avoid the man-made carbs. You want to avoid man-made carbs because most of the man-made carbs are ultra-processed foods. CNN just had a whole study, a whole conversation on ultra-processed foods today. Interestingly enough, 63% of the calories consumed by the average American comes from ultra-processed foods. So if we could just decrease those ultra-processed foods, which were typically a great source of caloric intake for most people, these low carbohydrate diets would come to the forefront. So what you got?
You're
Dr. Rob's Mastermind Laser Group. So I think I had it right. Do we have another question on Instagram? Are we good?
Did they already ask, do you like the cell core 1 to 4 steps before getting started?
No, that's a new one. I do like the cell core's 1 to 4 steps. I think cell core does a great job. They just had their big weekend. I heard a lot of good things about it in Epic. Hopefully someday in the future, we'll be able to present at Epic. They had a lot of people there. They do a great job. They're leaders in functional medicine. Here's another question. Okay. Again, I think we've covered, thank you very much. We covered a lot about TBI and things of that nature. We're good? So what's the first step in gut health? Now, as you know, I believe that gut health and the gut is the epicenter of your health. 80% of immune cells are in your gut. It's where your macro and micronutrients are absorbed. So I think that it's your first line of proverbial defense is gut health. First step, first thing to do, I kind of said it before, cut ultra processed food. First product to take if you want a supplement would be a pre and a probiotic. A probiotic gives life. A prebiotic feeds the probiotic. So hopefully you have enough prebiotics to substantiate your probiotics. Ultimately, they'll make postbiotics. So first thing that you want to do to keep good gut health would be avoid ultra-processed food. A couple of things in there that I would talk about is I would also avoid gluten. No gluten, no dairy. Here's a couple of acronyms you probably heard me say before, GPS and DNA. No gluten, no processed food or no ultra-processed food, no added sugar. DNA, no dairy, no nicotine, no artificial sweeteners. Again, pre and probiotics are a great choice. Anything coming in? All right, let's keep going. Would you be willing to discuss how exercise impacts mental health? Oh, wow. Exercise. So we talk about exercise in mental health. Believe it or not, exercise has or good quality exercise, 20 minutes to like an hour for the day, not 3, 4, 5 hours, like triathlon training, can be very detrimental to one's overall health. The amount that I would recommend would be 20 minutes to 60 minutes, has a beneficial effect on your gut. Most mental health conditions are gut to brain axis. Interesting. So your gut to brain axis really leads you down the path of your proverbial mental health. In addition, here's one for you, FYI. There was an IRB study that was done with food sensitivities. And in that, when food sensitivities were removed, the number one set of symptomologies that decreased, that were attenuated, were mental health conditions like depression, bipolar, and mood disorders. So exercise, without question, but watch those food sensitivities and try and take them out as well. Nutritional tips. What nutritional tips would I recommend? Well, let me give you some lifestyle nutritional tips. Obviously, health is wealth. So your number one asset that you have is health. That being said, exercise. Let's try and get some weight training. 20 minutes of weight resistance, 20 minutes of cardio, and 20 minutes of flexibility, 3 to 4 times a week, a great starting point. Nutrition. Here, again, I gave you the GPS and the DNA. I would intermittent fast. So I would use a 14 and 10 ratio. So I would fast for 14 hours. I would eat within a 10-hour window. The 10-hour window I'd like to eat within is 8 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. at night. I think those are great choices. Also, some other nutritional tips. I would do about 75% plant-based or plant-forward, if you will, about 20% protein, and I give you 5% where you can kind of like enjoy yourself a little bit. Now, that's a big step for me because I used to be quite rigid and provincial. So now I'm giving you 5%. So all my friends like Dr. Marks who are watching, they're probably copying because they realize I must have had some form of epiphany. No, I just wanted to make it easy and enjoy and enable people to be more compliant. And lastly, my Super 5. If anybody needs these, I can put a link at the bottom. My Super 5 for supplements would be a methylated multivitamin, multimineral, vitamin D3 with K2, omega-3 fatty acids with pro-resolving mediators, a pre and probiotic, and I would do a fruits and greens drink because since we're pulling back so much on carbs, sometimes we don't have enough vegetables and fruits, and therefore I would want to supplement with that. 1 scoop is worth 20 fruits and vegetables, so you have more than a day's need in a scoopful. No? We're cool? All right. Any quick tips? Wow, I can't read my own handwriting. Isn't that good? Any quick tips for better sleep? I just cracked everybody up in here. Absolutely. Shut the blue lights off. Shut the TV off. Shut the music off. Be consistent in the time that you want to go to sleep. Don't go to sleep at 9 a.m. and then go to sleep at 2 p.m. My sleep was disrupted because I fell asleep looking to take a nap. I took a nap that was too long, couldn't go to sleep, all this, all that. So today I'm running a little bit on empty. That's not usual, but it was a bit of an aberration. So try and go to sleep at the same time every day. Also, they found that really good positions, best position to sleep in, sleep on the left side of your body. So sideline, left side, gives your body the opportunity to allow your brain to detox most efficiently. What's the best diet for somebody with allergies? Well, if somebody has allergies, let's talk food allergies now, just don't eat them. I think it's more food sensitivities. I think you've all heard me say that I believe that food sensitivities are one of the main reasons for chronic kidney inflammation. So you want to test and not guess. Food sensitivities are exemplary of why you want to test and not guess. And that reason is that if you consume a food, there's 72-hour delay from the time you eat the food to the time that you see the symptomology. So how would anybody know if I ate a food today, let's say broccoli, that on Friday I had an issue? I wouldn't know from a patient perspective. And from the doctor perspective, I wouldn't know unless I tested for it. So without question, food sensitivities are test, not guess. Anybody have any interest or any curiosity, want to try and get their food sensitivities tested, let me know. Put a DM, we'll connect you, we'll hook you up. And the last question I have here is, how can we boost our immunity as the seasons change? Well, number one thing is avoid sugar. 300 calories of sugar at one time, which is 75 grams, decreases your immune system for a 2-hour period by 50%. So let's avoid sugar. Sugar is, as I've nicknamed it, El Diablo. Without question, we want to avoid sugar. Sugar, large amounts of even fructose. I'm not anti-fruit, I'm anti-fructose. So some of the things also goes back to that lifestyle. Get good sleep, avoid sugar, exercise, have a good diet. And the supplements that I would recommend were real simple. Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, minerals of zinc, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids. We good? We'll be here every Tuesday. It's been my pleasure. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them in. If you see this on Memorex and you have a question or you have a comment, put it in. I will answer you. It's Dr. Rob, always yours in health.